my question, if terrestrial means pertaining to Earth, yeah, then surely extraterrestrial means more extraterrestrial means more Earth, not more Earth outer space. I see the logic in terms of, but it's you're looking at it the other way around. I hear what you're saying in terms of more terrain or more, but no, it's the word extra in this case is saying it's from somewhere else or extra to this plane. But it's a good point, but that's not what it means when you break down the words. Yeah. Yeah, it's something extra to here that's not from here. That's what we mean, as in it's not from here. Let's keep going. Okay, let's keep going. Thornton Mellon. What is the difference between Ansar, Allah, Nubian, Islamic Hebrew, Nuwaubian, Wu-Sabat, and right knowledge? Are they the same or different? Okay, they're different but connected. So we went through different schools when we were being taught the school of religion or Abrahaminism, and then during those schools, for example, when we had communities, and so Ansar Allah was the name that was given to the community when we were going through the school that you might refer to as Islam. But at the same time, we changed names as we were progressing. So, and you have to also break down the words individually as what they mean, right? So, Nubian Islamic Hebrew was, again, that name, right? You can see the word Nubian because we always, even though we were practicing Islam, we were practicing a version of Islam that tied us back to Nubia, to the Sudan, to the Mahdi, to, you know. So those words were always going to be tying us back to who we really are as Nubians, or really Nubons, but the term most people got familiar with was Nubian, right? So we were still saying that Islamic Hebrew, because the Hebrew, again, we were walking backwards. Nuwaubian is the science of sound right reasoning, okay? And Wu-Sabat is like now where we are, because you have, in Nuwaubian, you have different stages as well, like Asanupu, Nabanupu, and Wunupu, okay? Which is the science. Wu-Sabat is the actual culture that puts everything together. And when you say right knowledge is because you have wrong knowledge and you have right knowledge. And we teach right knowledge. Okay, so because of time, I'm trying to go through them quickly, but yeah, they're different, but they relate because we walked through the schools of religion and then came back to our culture of Wu-Sabat. All right, Old Man Torg. I would like to know why these ancients from everyone's beliefs does not walk among us today. What happened to them, or is there any written word about why they no longer here in the open? When you say these ancients, yeah, you said I'd like to know why these ancients. I don't know which ancients you're referring to, but if you're talking about our ancestors, it's because they've evolved, that we are evolving, and they've moved on to different, and they still do walk amongst us. We are their children, we are them, and depends who you're talking about, but I'm just going by what you've said. You just said ancients. You have beings that are walking amongst us, camouflaging, etc., shape-shifting, and they are here, but they are here in the open. You just got to be able to know and recognize them. All right, let's keep going. DB, Rahubat, how do we protect ourselves from CRISPR and Cas9? What's Dr. York's scroll prevention on gene tampering for good or bad? We protect ourselves by being in Wu-Sabat and practicing our culture, and that's how you're protected. But obviously, there are many scrolls that go into that and the rituals and things that we do. But that's also part of the reason why we need to come together and work together in communities, because you're easy pickings when you have no backative, as we like to say, like you have no one to kind of like work with you. So yeah, it's about being in unity with those of like mind and working together. All right. Okay, I'm gonna try and speed through these as much as I can. And again, working together, and how do you do that? If you would like to know more, then again, we keep expressing that you should come closer, go to your nearest bookstores, interact, and I'm posting the link in the chat again about the project that we're working on to come together. All right. Right, let's go. Where were we? Okay, next one. What is a very hard school? Oh, sorry, Earth is a very hard school. It's only hard if you don't study and know what to do. You know, it's like your exam is only hard if you don't know and haven't studied and, you know, prepared, so that the questions come and you're just like, oh, I know that, and it's going to be smooth. But if you haven't studied and prepared, then you're going to be scratching your head at every question. So the exam will seem to be hard. Okay, those without a soul do not have to go through life lessons like those with a soul. Yeah, it's a bit more of a challenge, because, you know, the beings that want the soul make sure they do everything to get it. And that comes by way of challenges for you, because you get tempted in all kinds of ways to give it up. Sure will do, thank you. You can't escape reincarnation. Yes, you can. We didn't actually, this is from Josie B. We didn't, sometimes people will just make a statement like, you can't escape reincarnation, but it's like, okay, obviously we're running out of time, but where's the evidence? Where's the proof? Where that's coming from, basically? You can. We never used to reincarnate over and over again. We used to come, do what we had to do and go and never come back. But obviously over time, we've now degraded ourselves to the point where we do need to, in order to learn what we need to learn, to, because the soul, right, is apart from those that were between 1973 and 2003, they're new souls, but the others are quite old souls, because you have to come over and learn. And yeah, so let me carry on. Lady Loneness. Rahubat, I have heard so many different explanations on twin flames and soul ties and soulmates. What is Wu-Sabat explanation on this? We have a part to write called Soulmates, so I'm not going to dwell too much on that. That goes into it. Soulmates are born and they're linked, but in finding each other is the issue. But it's not like you go and look for. Well, I suppose you do if you don't know each other. But the part of that soulmates goes into that, because we're literally running out of time. So I'm going to go through as many questions as I can. Marcia Marquise, everything is with which we have not been taught. Eating well, fasting, meditation will bring knowledge. Ask and you will find. Be still and listen to yourself. Yeah, it starts with the spirit within, because you're connected to your ancestors, and you have to learn how to silence the voices of those that are distracting and distorting things for you, so you can listen out for your voice, which will guide you to the right path. Yep, you need to be the master of your soul, because your soul is the one thing that you have that they can't take unless you give it away by ignorance or willingly. Okay. What's next? True talk. Amanda Washington. I never desired to identify as an African, because I know that the landmass was Alkebulan and it was changed to Africa by an invader named Scipio Africanus. That's just one part of the story. The original land was called Ganawa. That's what it was called. Akibulan is again one of these terms that we have been led to think it's original, but if you study the word, it's not, and it's also a mixture. There are many, many words that have been used for the planet and for the people called Africa, and we were known as Nuwaubians, to be honest. But again, that's why we're going back full circles to being Nuwaubians. All right, let's keep going. You have to break the words down as well. What does it mean? Great answer for the present and future. The generator versus the regurgitator. Thank you. That's from DB as well. True talk. Ashe. Michael, marvelous motivation. I'm a Christian, just like what Doc was teaching when he was locked up. On the tape, he said he was cool with Egypt, but Jesus came to him and said, get it together, 96. Yeah, that's old information. And yeah, during that time when we were teaching, but the thing is, when you say I'm a Christian, that word is not what we use. He used the word Karass, okay? Not Christian. But of course, when you're explaining things to people that are in Christianity or in and they're using the word Christian, you use terms that people are familiar with. But the word we used was Karass, and the word Christian was coined up because, you know, they were talking about someone that was anointed, known as a Messiah, right? That's what the word anointed means, or the word Messiah means anointed. And then they said, we have found a Messiah who's been interpreted the Christ, okay? So that was, again, 96, we're in 2025, and we've now moved on from that. When you say which Jesus, we're talking about, there are different types of Jesus. People don't know that. It was like our Jesus, or the person you're calling Jesus is Hara from, you know, ancient Egypt, which is why everybody ties into Egypt and in the monotheistic religion. So the word is Karass, or not really Christian, all right? So you need to come up to date and become a part of Wu-Sabat. Be a Sabian or Nuwaubian, all right? Again, one more time, if you don't mind helping us by answering, where are you in the world right now? Like, where are you from? The Caribbean, USA, Africa, Asia, where are you chiming in from? Okay, let's see if we've got more questions.
Regarding soulmates,
Yep.
Mira just said, aren't soulmates based on astrology?
No, they're not. They're not, because astrology is just something that was coined. So you have astronomy and astrology, which is really looking at and dealing with the motions of the stars and the sun, etc., coming really from our ancient science, with the Dendera dealing with the energies of certain alignments and things like that, dealing with solar biology, which became lunar astronomy, okay? But astrology is the study of the planetary bodies and the stars and so forth and so forth. So it's really, you want to study solar biology. Solar related to the sun, biology related to the biochemistry of how it affects your being. Marceliana Williams, this seems like Jehovah Witness all over again. Purchase all the books. No, listen, nothing like Jehovah's Witness. It doesn't even make, the title doesn't even make sense. There's no such word as Jehovah for a start. There's no J's or V's in Hebrews. And how can somebody be a witness for Jehovah? To be a witness meaning that you watch a crime and you're a witness. You can't be a witness for Jehovah, all right? And it's not about purchasing the books. You don't have to purchase any books at all. It's up to you. Like, if you don't want to study, don't study. If you don't want to buy books or read the books, don't. You know, it's up to you. But those who are reading know the benefits. We could, if we had the opportunity to be in a position which the master used to do, which is be economically sound and have so many books printed that we could literally give them away for free. But it still cost money, and it cost to get paper, to get the ink, to print, to bind, to distribute, to market, to get the information out. The knowledge is free, but the resources, the amount of times we have had to say this, you wouldn't go to, I was going to give a name, but you couldn't go to any bookstores and just get the books for free, So people always say that, but we give out, I think we give out more free knowledge than anyone else we know, because we do these lives every week for free. We have classes every week for free, all across the world in different stores and different places for free. And I've been doing that for over 50 years. So it's not about the books. The books are there for your records, for your library, for your, legacy, so you can pass it on. And if you don't publish and author books, then you don't have the authority on the information that's being pushed to you. So somebody has to have records, or else you're just going to read the Bible and the Quran, which somebody else is producing, distorting the truth and giving you lies and then trapping you in 6 ether forces. So it's your choice. Liberate yourself through right knowledge, right wisdom, and right understanding, or stay reading the book of the dead books, dead people that don't help you to elevate. All right. So yeah, nothing like Jehovah's Witness at all. Why don't the entities from Risk want to help us? They are helping us. The being that is giving us this guidance and information is from Risk. And you, as children of the ancestors from Risk, we're helping now by doing what we do. And you should be helping by studying, reading, and teaching, and sharing the knowledge as well. That's to Marceliana Williams. Marcia Marcus again, if we let go and let the spirit would take control, you will feel like you are taking something when you have, and the spirit will speak. Drums do help, your eyes will open. Okay, that's not a question. I am a herbalist in Maryland. Great. Bible Book of the Dead, we need to raise our vibrations. So why don't Dr. York just make all of it available? It seems like a club. Make all of what available? It's making as much information as available on the planet than anyone else, covering every single subject you can think of. So when you say, why don't Dr. York make it all available? It is all available, but it's down to you which parts you actually, if you understand the logistics of publishing and printing a book, you can't print, how many people on the planet? Some 8 billion people. Do you have any idea how much it will cost to print 8 billion books? Or even 7 billion, or even 1 billion? And that's one title. When you're looking at over 1,000 titles, you do the maths. But yet people don't want to help us to be able to reach more people in the world and give out this information for free, as we do by way of our teachings and classes. Okay. Now, again, I don't take, someone said I'm not talking bad about this, just concerns. Okay, I don't know what that's about. USA will not teach language anymore. 1987 was the last year. If some of us come together as one natural rhythm, for those who want to come together and work together and get things done, I've posted the link for my project, our project. Let me see if there are any other questions. If some of us come together as one, this is Marcy again, as one natural rhythm, we'll do that. Stop trying to control, let go, energy will flow. We are always trying to control everything. We are not the one that is in control. I don't know who's trying to control everything. That's again very broad and very vague. You can only control yourself, to be honest. You choose and decide what decisions you make to put yourself in whatever position or predicament you find yourself. Okay, brother, what above the woman energy? What above the women energy? Yeah, I mean, that's something that gets neglected a lot. The women the women's energy is double in terms of three times more than the men, because they have the mitochondrial DNA, the XX chromosomes, which the male has a defective Y. And so this doctrine is really for the females, or the sacred feminine. And the more of you wake up and start to kind of take your rightful place, the better off we are, because you are the future and this doctrine is yours. But we're supposed to work together, left and right brain, and working together to, like the master put it like this: men in front, the rabbis, the ministers, the preachers, the presidents, the prime ministers, the deacons, the popes. They have been responsible as men. We have been responsible for the conditions and the states that we find ourselves. Now is the woman's turn to show us how it's done. And he put it like, you can't box with one hand tied behind your back, meaning male and female, both hands, both brains have to work together in unison to achieve more. Whereas in the past, the women have been suppressed. And religion does the worst job in giving women that power to be who they really are, because it's like, walk behind, stay behind, cover yourself up. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't lead the congregation, etc., etc. So Wu-Sabat liberates the sacred feminine and the women who choose to apply it in their lives, all right? Are they responding to chat? I am 55, left the program at 26. I knew something was wrong. I could step foot in the church. I think that's couldn't step foot in the church. Okay, keep going. How does one find their soul? Okay, we covered that. I want to know how plasma energy and radio waves work. Again, we don't have that much time, but it's dealing with vibrations and frequency. Okay, let me explain this vibration and frequency thing a little bit more. So when something is vibrating at a particular resonance, it's in tune with others on the same resonance. And what that literally means is that you become that which that is. So another way of putting it, if you're water and you're in water, you become one. If you're fire and you're with fire, fire becomes one. So when we vibrate on a particular frequency, we then connect with everyone that is on that frequency. This is why we're mind linked. And there's a master's secret called mind linked. But again, we're running out of time, so you're going to have to seek out some of these actual facts. If you're not in the Telegram group already, as we're coming to the last 5 minutes and we're risking not being able to perhaps answer all the questions, then what you need to do is join the Telegram group. The link will be in the chat, and you can continue to ask your questions 24/7. Anytime you have a question, as you're studying, as you're learning more, or you might jump out of your sleep with a great question, put it in the Telegram chat and we will answer it. All right, let's keep going. I like that United Swindle States. Yeah. I am a need to know person, right? Yeah, exactly. To know, the first part of the word knowledge is to know. That's what knowledge is. But if it's been distorted and you're given wrong knowledge, you may think that's correct, but it's actually not useful knowledge. It's not right knowledge. So to know is to research, to check things out for yourself, to confirm it for yourself, and then you know. Once you know something, no one can tell you any different. But you have to verify and really put it to the test in terms of the evidence, reason, and experience to see if it's sound, right reasoning, okay? I know that some everyone do not understand. Let's get one with questions we have not heard. Yeah, not everybody understands. Some people overstand, you see? So to be under something means you're not over it. So Some people understand, some people overstand, some people know, some people don't know, some people don't know, they don't know. So we're here to clear it all up by way of Wu-Sabat, as given to us and taught to us by Partner Babianu Dr. Malachi Z.K. York. Okay, let's keep going. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught a lot of the same information regarding the origins of white race. There's no such thing as a white race, and what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was teaching, a lot of it was incorrect information because he didn't know the language and he didn't have all the information. So he taught some information, good information, but he couldn't take it all the way because he didn't have the language, and what he taught was to lead you up onto the master teacher, one who comes along to make those lessons even clearer than the ones that he taught, you know. So when he's talking about Yaqub, and he's talking about the mother plane and talking about certain things that the master teacher, upon the Babyanun, has come along to clarify even more. He put the lessons back together in their, you know, in the pristine order. And there's something, if I have time, I'm trying to find to read for you, that actually deals with what your question is referring to. All right, I'm gonna see if I can. It's quite short, so if I can find it quickly, I will read it. Because in fact, it's from the I think it's from the book called The Proverbs of Yanun. So if you don't have that, see if you can get hold of that. Oh, here we go. I found it. I'm going to read from. If I get the book wrong, you have to check it. But from 169, it says, and that is exactly what I started doing from 1962 to 1963 AD. Then I opened the 7 seals in the year 1970 AD, just as the messenger, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, predicted to his followers. 170, I am the one with the book of Lamb, or Lamb, and the new Arabic dressed in white as he predicted. 171, I will bring the lost found blacks onto the hereafter from 2000 AD, the year that the dominion of the Adamites race since 6,000 years ended. All right. 172. I am that black savior they called Messiah, which the white race has feared coming all these Shamut years. 173. Now I am finally here with your salvation, with healing in my wings. Accept this gift from your Salafu ancestors. 174. This is your last chance. Michael, Malachi is here. 175. The last 6,000 years from Tammuz, the 6th, 3761 BCE, was the last of the 4, making it the end of planet Earth's quarantine of 24,000 years, which begins the next 24,000 year cycle as the race of devils will be removed off the planet in our own good time. They are fading from 2000 AD to 2030 AD to 2060 AD, end of their Tapal world. 176, and from 2000 AD, which is 6000 AC, yeah, which is AC's or Adam's calendar, you are now writing the next 24,000 years, our story. 177, first things first, I must break the Hajar Shalel, the Takul, the spell of ignorance that you are under, and regrow your Barathri Ghatat gland in your submental under your chin. All right, so that's a quick to tie in with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad questions. Okay, Ashe, we need to come together. Absolutely. I've posted a link for those who want to come together and join the Telegram group so we can continue to build. Thanks for the update. Always a pleasure. As usual, we give a shook to you all. Coming to see you in London. All right. Many people say it, we don't see them, but we look forward to seeing you, Marcia. I am here. Music world creates music. Okay. All right. I think
We need 2 more likes to get 100.
we need 2 more likes to get 100. Now let's see some of you show us some love. I shook divine love and give us 2 more likes, and we will be there. Okay. All right, Gilbert. Thank you again for your donation. I appreciate love. Question: Albert Pike letter to Mazzini, how does that affect us? All right, grab hold of the book called History, right, which goes into all Albert Pike and all of that. But you know, Albert Pike is the father of the Euro-Masonry and how they distorted the original ancient Egyptian Masonic teachings. All right, so that's Albert Pike and those guys. There's an actual fact called History. Of course, we're running out of time. We literally have just a few minutes left.
Done.
Okay, cool.
101 likes.
101 likes. Great. Thank you. Tawukum. Thank you all. The truth is the truth. Give thanks. That's right. That's one thing that the truth does not do. It doesn't associate or has any association with anything else but itself. That's why you can't falter truth, because truth is truth. If it doesn't matter if you're green, purple, yellow, black, white, Christian, Muslim, Jew, if you teach the truth and we know is the truth, we will say that's true. Truth is truth. All right, keep up with the youth and how they communicate. Like, okay, I don't get that. I don't get that. Author to control or energy. It's the less of us that will be seen as the Most High. People will be making statements, but like, okay, where does that come from? If that's just from you, a figment of your imagination, and that's what you think, that's your opinion. You know, we respect everyone's opinion, but we want to stay on actual facts and evidence-based, you know. Every time a man sleeps with someone, they are giving away their energy. Claim it for yourself, young man. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Read Genetic Kiss, and it goes into the whole bodily fluids exchange. My name is Emmanuel Kadamawi. I am a Jamaica Rasta man. We love to say Jah and Rastafari. Is it good for us? Not really in terms of the tones and vibrations, because Jah is Yah really in the Yah as in Jehovah, Jah, which is the tones going back to, as we say, these Anunnaki, Enlil and Enki. Rastafari, of course, is a name that ties in and, you know, goes back to Haile Selassie, etc. But it's not that the names we use and the tones we use. Oh, we've gone over by 5 minutes already. I didn't realize. But it's upgrade the tones to the ones that are going to be most impactful and useful for you.